Hi, my name is Ichi. Today I'm going to talk about Steelcase in China. First, I'm going to talk about China and its policies, regulations, and then I will move on to Steelcase. The foreign exchange rate risk in China comes from two different ways. First is tight regulation on the trading of RMB, and the other one is the lack of liquidity. With the lack of liquidity, there is a lack of accurate pricing, and executing trades become even more difficult. While the RMB's liquidity has improved as China's government has relaxed its restrictions on trading of RMB, there is still a long way to go before the RMB is truly a global currency. And while there are still tight regulations on the trade of RMB, with complex policy in place, numerous companies turn to the RMB in order to conduct their business with companies in China. Despite hurdles, the RMB is steadily growing in volume and liquidity, and China's government is striving to make the RMB a truly global currency with a stable exchange rate. There are two ways to solve this problem. For the company, one, it can utilize just one currency, like RMB, to execute foreign transactions with one exchange rate, instead of executing multiple transactions across different currencies and exchange rates. It reduces foreign exchange risk by limiting exposure to multiple currencies. With trading with RMB in China, the other advantage includes improve the work relationship with counterparties in China by having direct foreign exchange transactions, allowing negotiation of more favorable payment terms, as well as engaging with a greater range of companies in China. So the policy risk in China is, first, China's reform strategy, and second is the nationalization of industry. In November 2013, the third plenary session of 18th Communist Party of China Central Committee outlined the new leadership strategy directions. Key themes was financial reform, including greater RMB exchange rate flexibility and political and administrative reform, including steps to improve judicial process, while this decision set out plans to increase judicial independencies, improving governance and transparency, and instill greater accountability for parties and government officials. It was clear that the party remains above the law in China. The possibility of nationalization of industry needs to be considered too. It was occurred in China back in 1949. Similarly, there are the risk of confiscation, expropriation, currency inconvertibility, and contract reputations. China maintains 14 free trade agreements with its trade and investment partners, and is negotiating or implementing an additional 8 FTAs. China's FTA partners are ASEAN, Singapore, Pakistan, New Zealand, Chile, Peru, Costa Rica, Iceland, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. Also, China has 12 regional trade agreements partners. The monetary policy in China is stated by the government that the law on the People's Bank of China stipulates that the objective of monetary policy is to keep the value of RMB stable to contribute to economic growth. And the government used tools like open market operations, deposit reservation policies, central bank loans to try to keep the stability of RMB. The second is the official moves towards internationalization of RMB have led to the growth of offshore RMB market based in Hong Kong. The offshore market, known as the CNH, floats freely against world currencies and is accessible by offshore entities for purposes such as trade settlements, making it ideal for importers seeking to hedge against RMB risk. Therefore, business can use CNH-denominated foreign exchange risk management tools such as foreign exchange options, forward contracts, or non-deliverable forwards to smooth out currency fluctuation and reduce the risk of loss. Here is the dollar exchange rate of RMB in 5 years. In the past 5 years, the rate of RMB to USD is fluctuate within $1 range. This could strongly affect the international trades between countries and China. This graph shows the balance of payments in China. China's current account surplus narrowed sharply to USD 54.6 billion in the fourth quarter of 2018, from USD 62.3 billion in the same period of 2017. A preliminary estimate showed the good trade surplus was recorded at USD 139.1 billion and the secondary income surplus at USD 2.5 billion, while the service deficit came in at USD 64.1 billion and the primary income deficit at USD 22.8 billion. Here, let's talk about Steelcase. Steelcase exchanged its stock at the New York Stock Exchange with the symbol of SCS. In the past 5 years, the stock price remains relatively stable from $12 per share to $20 per share. Over the last 2 years, Steelcase has beaten the EPS estimate 50% of the time and has beaten revenue estimate 50% of the time. Over the last 3 months, EPS estimate has been seeing one upward revision and one downward. Revenue estimation has been seeing one upward revision and one downward. Steelcase has 2 offices in China. The offices is mainly for designs and product management. Also, it has 1 manufacturing plant in Dongguan, which is a city really close to Hong Kong. Also, Steelcase have over 15 showrooms and dealer offices to show its products in China. These manufacturing plants, dealers' rooms allow Steelcase to do business with Chinese companies, also the Southeast Asia companies. Finally, the Steelcase growth opportunity comes from the growing office furniture market in Asia. With Steelcase opens factories and offices in China, it allows Steelcase set a foot in the front of growing market. China represents a huge market opportunity for Steelcase. It would be impossible to do any kind of meaningful business if the company does not have a presence there. Finished furniture from Chinese plant is aimed at the Asia market, where the costs would not be matched if the product shipped from West Michigan. Foreign companies in China would have more protection with laws and regulation, with the improving judicial process and government transparency. Finally, RMB is trying to become a more international currency. This would help eliminate the risk in the foreign currency exchange rate. So I think Steelcase would have a growth opportunity in future.